So this is one of the bigger stories of the day, and I think it needs to be covered. Let's cover it. The Michael Garza Show. We do a lot of stuff, all right? It's interesting because my last name is Garza. Take out the R, it's Gaza, all right? So there's a Gaza ceasefire and a hostage deal moves forward. Now, Israel and Hamas agreed to the first phase of the U.S.-backed ceasefire / hostage exchange plan signed in Egypt. Now, Israel's cabinet is said to ratify before a full pause takes effect, with initial hostage releases expected within days. Have to give me a few moments. Getting the chat set up real quick. I do declare. And I'm having wicked dreams of leaving Tennessee. Oh, Santa Monica, you've been so good to me. You want to make my mama proud. It's gonna cause a scene. She sees her brony boy. Give me a few moments, folks. I'm having technical difficulties here. What up? What up, my brony brothers, dude? We got the bronies in the house. I can't believe it, man. Hey, thank you for the vine, man. Thank you for the vine. Some people claim I don't have one, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure I do. I thought I did. I might not. I don't know. Who's Will Stansel? What the hell? What are you talking about, Brown? What are you talking about, my brony brother? So, what do you guys think, though, about the whole situation? Because overall, with the whole, I'm looking at the Reuters story right now because Israel and Hamas sign a Gaza ceasefire in a hostage deal. So it seems like things are moving forward in the right direction. As I always say, get to the peace table, man. Get to the negotiation table. Yeah, Israel and the Palestine militant group Hamas signed a agreement on Thursday to cease fire and free Israel hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners in the first phase of U.S. President Donald Trump's initiative to end the 2-year war in Gaza that has upended the Middle East. Israelis and Palestinians alike rejoiced after the deal was announced, the biggest step yet to end 2 years of war in which over 67,000 Palestinians have been killed, and return the last hostages seized by Hamas in the deadly attacks that started it. It's finally, say what you want about Trump, man. Somehow this has happened. Somehow a ceasefire. Somehow this has been done. I mean, look, it's not perfect, but a ceasefire, hell, I'll take it. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I think at the end of the day, peace is worth it, man. Peace is worth it. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, by the way. I didn't take any sides during that conflict. I'm not a fan of either of those countries. But I will say this. I'm glad the peace has started. There we go. Hey, Sebastian, what up? Hey, man, did you ever ask what Chat GPT had to say about my question the other day? I don't even remember what the question was, man. I remember you, but I can't remember what the question was. My mind is drawn a blank. I think I ended up looking it up, though, or something. I don't know what it was, but... Officials on both sides confirmed they had signed the deal following indirect talks in the Egyptian beach resort of Shrem el-Sheikh, I think is what it said. Under the deal, fighting will cease. Israel will partially withdraw from Gaza, and Hamas will free all the remaining hostages it captured in the attack on the unprecedented war in exchange for hundreds of prisoners held by Israel at the White House. Trump said he believed it would lead to a lasting peace, fleets of trucks carrying food and medical. Okay. So it seems like we're on the right path overall, is what this is suggesting. Good. Look, war is bad. I mean, war is terrible. It needs to stop. It obviously, there will always be warring religions. We can't always help that, obviously. That's always going to be a thing. There's always going to be someone fighting over something. But the sooner you can get to the negotiation table, the better. And that's the way I see it. And I'm glad that they at least finally got a deal struck, because you kind of have to do something. There's no point. I mean, these types of wars are just pointless, man. War in itself is pointless. Just negotiate. There are ways to negotiate without trying to harm the other side. You know, this tends to happen way too much, man. Way too much. Oh, okay, yes, that's right. Sebastian, so I don't remember if I actually asked ChatGPT about it, to be honest. But I don't know. I think it was an interesting discussion we had, though, and I remember that. I remember starting to remember it now. About like, and I get it. I don't know. You made some interesting points from what I remember, though. Yes, and that's exactly it, Sebastian. Hermaphrodites. I mean, look, what you said about it being some sort of, because it would be tough. Like, what gender are you really? Are you truly both naturally? Is it dominant one or the other? It's tough to say. So it's, I don't know. It's a little cruel to have those types of surgeries, you'd think. Especially if it turns out not to be the right choice, What if they have both genders, but somehow maybe they're more of a girl, that sort of thing. So it's an interesting tough one. It's a tough one, man. And then they do the wrong surgery or something. It's a risky game, man. That's a risky game, man. What do you all think? You guys think it's a risky game, a little too crazy? Gotta make sure my phone remains charged. Stuff like that. Oh yeah, so that live stream that we did where you were on it, that's still up and running. I make sure that every live stream remains intact. So every live stream that we've ever done when I interact with the audience remains intact. So it's a good thing. Yeah, we never like to get rid of the archive because it's an archive, man, of the show. It would be stupid of us to stream and then just have the stream disappear into existence. I like to have the stream on record in the library of the show. So the stream will always remain on that one, Sebastian. Hey, thank you, Happy Failure 90. I appreciate it. Shirt off stream was pretty fire. I agree. That's good to... Okay, you shat yourself yesterday? What the hell? And then another thing is, like, under the deal, fighting will cease, blah, blah, blah. Israel will partially withdraw from Gaza, and Hamas will free all remaining hostages it captured in the attack that precipitated the war. And this is all from a Reuters article, by the way. In exchange for hundreds of prisoners held by Israel. At the White House, Trump said he believed it would lead to a lasting peace. Fleets of trucks carrying food and medical aid would be allowed to surge into Gaza to relieve civilians. Hundreds of thousands of whom have been sheltering in tents after Israel forces destroyed their homes and razed. Man, it's just bad, dude. Ugh. See, the damage done by war, it's just these people lose their homes, and these are just people who happen to live in these countries. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where these people live in these countries, whether it's Israel, whether it's Gaza, wherever it may be, Palestine, you name it. And they just want to live their lives, and their governments are making their lives worse. And this is why I don't trust government. I don't trust big government, to say the least. Thank you. I do feel a lot better. I don't think I'm going to do a baby oil stream for a while. I think that was a little too extreme for me. I think I should probably stop with the baby oil streams. Oh, man. I think it's one of those things, man. I just got to... sometimes I got to learn to quit that shit, dude. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just, yeah, we do the best we can on this show. It's crazy though. But yeah, I think the war should have ended a while ago. I think, first off, like I always say, war is ridiculous. And I'm glad the ceasefire happened. I'm glad that they're stopping, and I hope it remains. Both sides need to just stop. Leave each other alone. And it's sad to see that stuff, man. It is sad to see that. No, I've never served in the military, no. Oh, we got Nancy Pants in the house. What up? Well, I know that basically, you see the testimonials from soldiers all the time, about how bad war actually is. Those who've been in it, it's not pretty. It's not good. So I don't think anybody should be advocating for war. Period. Nancy says the odds of it remaining at peace seem to be low. Yeah, I'm hoping it can remain. I mean, a ceasefire is at least a step in the right direction. It just sucks, man, when you got so many territories, so many countries trying to bid over resources and land. I mean, what it really boils down to is resources and land, and sometimes difference in ideology. Simple as that. Sadly, war comes in many forms. But yeah, I think war should always be a last resort. It should never be the first thing that comes to mind. Leaders should always be willing to try and really, really try to hit the negotiation table. Because if you could prevent war, man, I mean that's the ideal outcome, is to prevent it. Yeah, it sadly could be pretty low, the odds of peace. As much as I am a true idealist and an optimist, I'll admit it, even though sometimes this show can get a little grim, I do believe that people can resolve their differences at the end of the day. I hope. But yeah, sometimes people choose violence, unfortunately. And I think it's just up to the world to discourage the violence. And I don't know. I will say that I don't have all the answers, but it's nice to see that a peace deal has finally come about, you know. And also, at the end of the day, how much did Trump have to do with this? I think, you know, as far as I know, Trump has been involved in the process quite a bit. All right, let's see here. What else we got? Oh, Sengar. Well, Senkar. How long did it take you to find this out? Is the question. Sengar. It's happening, man. It's always happening here. That's what this show's become. It's exactly what this show's become, man. Do you guys think I fap too much? Do you guys think I crap too much? What do you guys think? In the Hollywood Hills and the Boulevard? So I'm debating whether I should swing trade VT instead of the AOR. And honestly, I think I just might. So all the AOR that I got. Boom. I'm going to buy a bunch of VT. There we go. I bought a bunch of Vanguard Total World Index. Perfect. Now I think here's the thing. I thought about it and I was like, well, as much as I love bonds and they're great, the VT is probably one of the best swing tradable assets out there. And the reason for that is very simple. I don't know, it just seems like it's the right thing to do. And also, it's got international and U.S. stocks in it, so you're not really bound. And here's the thing: as much as I love bonds, I've got plenty of bond ETFs. I ain't hurting on that front, So it's just one of those things, man. For me, I was just like, well, what's a boy to do? And as much as I love Citigroup, Citigroup I'm keeping. I got to keep a lot of my individual stocks. But there we go. I got quite a bit of VT right now. Heck yeah. Sold all my AOR and bought a whole bunch of VT. And like I said, the reason for that is, look, bonds don't have the price movement that equities do. And also, if you're hyper-diversified across international and U.S., I mean, you're pretty much golden. You have massive diversification right there. And also, like I said, I have plenty of bond ETFs that I store in my portfolio that give me a lot of good income. So, and also international companies pay a pretty decent dividend, so I will get dividends from having the Vanguard Total World Index. 60% U.S. stocks and 40% international. It just seems like the right choice is really what it boils down to. Is it just seems like the correct choice overall. And so what do you guys think? Should I keep swing trading the VT or should I keep swing trading the AOR? I mean, like, I already just sold off my shares of AOR at a profit, so VT dropped almost 1% today, which is crazy. There's been massive drops across the market, actually. But yeah, I was like, oh, it's a good opportunity to dip buy. And yeah, like I said, I'm a huge fan of. It's a little more expensive than some of the other ones, but honestly, it's well worth it. But yeah, dips across the board, man. The entire marketscape kind of crashed today. But that's the beauty, man. That's the beauty about being a swing trader. When you're a swing trader, man, you're just, you're taking the dips, you're taking the flips, and at the end of the day, it's like I'm still good. I'm still the golden pony boy. Now, here's the thing. The beauty about swing trading is this. So if the market rebounds tomorrow, I can sell one share, trickle sell, get a profit. If it goes up again, trickle sell for a profit. The goal is to trickle sell, and it's really the key at the end of the day. So what do you guys think about that? Oh. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Yeah. 'Cause everybody come along with me. Let me know if I can set you free. I don't even know what I am doing. Yeah, XRP thoughts. Let's see. So overall, Rob, I would say first off, all crypto is grifto. All cryptocurrency is grifter currency. Well, I appreciate the enthusiasm, Rob. I just, it's all grifter currency. So crypto at the end of the day is basically a legal Ponzi scheme. I don't trust it for the life of me. It's tough to trust it. I think at the end of the day, this is stupid. Let's see.
Laugh out loud.
Dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die. Thank you, Nancy. I really appreciate that. It's great, man. I really appreciate that big time. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, so we're all about the I was blue last night. I was a blue man. I was a very blue man last night, and it was awesome. So I'm going to keep that super chat up for a bit. Keep that up. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate you. Laugh out loud. But yeah, you guys, I mean, I really want to thank everybody for subscribing. It honestly means a lot, we're trying our best to keep the show as accessible as possible, but successful, So we do center a lot of what we do around super chats, unfortunately.
Laugh out loud.
Okay, that's actually pretty good. Super chats read first. Subscribe. Thank you by the way, Nancy, thank you very much for that $4.99 super chat. Let me reply to that real quick. So she's saying with emojis, you rock, and I appreciate that big time, Nancy. Thank you. Well, you rock too. Honestly, it's cool to interact with new people on here because everybody has their own quirks, their own individual personality that makes this interesting. And it's very fun to work with so many different personalities on here. That's the one thing I got to say is it's just entertaining. It's fun. So Nancy, here's the thing. I don't know if you make. I think you. I don't know if you make videos or not. Let me check out your profile real quick. Hold on. Yes, you should actually. Yeah, you should make. See, I see you have posts actually. Okay, if you have community posts, that's good enough. You should at least make more. If you do a lot of writing, you should do more community posts for sure. But another thing that you could potentially do, doing videos really does help because, I mean, people still read obviously, but videos do. I hate to say it, more people don't really read anymore, unfortunately. I mean, so one of the reasons I'm not a good writer though. It looks like based on what I've seen, you're a pretty good writer. Nancy says I am camera shy and boring. Well, I won't make videos. I write. Hey, it's no problem with that. It's tough, man. Being camera shy, it's a thing. It happens. So, but we get it. We get it. At least I get it because surprisingly, I used to be somewhat camera shy when I was younger, and the older I got, the more I just kind of was like, we'll just see what happens. We'll see how it rolls. Oh yeah, guess who says I get the vibe that you listen to alpha male podcasts. Dude, I don't need to listen to alpha male podcasts because I am an alpha male. But really, I'm just a beta male pretending to be an alpha male. I'm a pigma. But let's see. But it is nice to see that a deal has been struck. Obviously, I'm just one of those people who's just very, very much against seeing people get hurt. I hate it, man. It's just one of those things for me, like, it just gets me sick to it. It's one of the reasons why I have trouble watching the news or even reading about the latest headlines and latest stories because there's just so much crap out there. Nancy says, but yeah, I am a top G sparkling water. I like to try to do Andrew Tate impressions because he is kind of funny. You gotta drink your sparkling water. You gotta drive your Bugatti. But yeah. So again, thank you, Nancy, for all the support. We really appreciate it on this channel, and yeah. But yeah, just Nancy, what are you talking about when Funk since what got out of control? I will say, Nancy, if you could though, post more stuff on YouTube, not video, more writing. Because if you're more along the lines of writing and you prefer to do writing, that's totally understandable, by the way. So you could do more writing and then, So if writing is your preference, which I know people who are like that, who are very, very camera shy, and they prefer to write rather than get on camera. I'm just a weirdo. I think it's hilarious to have the camera on me. I think it's hilarious to do weird things on camera. I try not to cross any lines, obviously. I think the baby oil stuff is riding the line, but honestly, it is kind of a skincare routine for me. I enjoy putting the feeling is actually kind of nice. People don't realize baby oil feels good on the skin. Just want to say that right now. And I don't think I'm going to do too many of those live streams. The international conflicts, the internal conflict in our country, and our corruption. Yeah, there's a lot of corruption going on for sure. I can agree with that. Just all over the place, man. It's wild. Okay, let me take a look at that real quick. So, by the way, go to Nancy's, if you guys can, go to Nancy's profile. It's at the Nance, and I think that's like with 4 A's there. So the Nance. And it looks like Jean Martin www.medium.com. So if you guys check out Nancy's profile, you'll be able to see all of her writing and stuff like that, which is really cool. It's on medium.com. And, I'll give you a quick shout out here. I'll give you a quick promotion real quick. So everybody who wants to see Nancy's writing here, because Nancy, you've been a really big supporter of the show, and I want to make sure I'm giving you a shout out. So that's Nancy's Ice Wallow. So Ice Wallow Kume is a new sub to the channel. I appreciate that. I'm not going to say what that actually is. Oh, boy. Anyway, so, overall, we're trying our best to keep the show good, keep the show fresh, and doing whatever we can to encourage people to subscribe and, what have you. Yeah, I figured it's like if I'm going to get into any product, I want it to have the potentiality. Let's see. Nancy says my writing might piss people off. That's okay. That's the whole point of writing. I mean, look, you can't please everybody. Don't even try. And in what Winston Churchill once said, and I agree with his statement, that if you haven't made any enemies, then you haven't stood up for something. So it's okay for your writings to piss people off. My show, this show that I do right here, pisses probably more people off than I could count. It probably does. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. The show's wild. It's wacky. It's whacked out for sure. And some people just hate this show. And I get it. Some people think that this show's a waste of time or a waste of space. Some people think this is a great show filled with entertainment and knowledge. I give my opinions on different things. Obviously, I'm a no war kind of guy. But hey, it looks like based on this Reuters article, it says all of Gaza Strip is happy. Thank God for the ceasefire, the end of bloodshed and killing, said Abdul Majid Abdrabro in Khan. Yeah, I can't say all those words. In South Gaza. I am not the only one happy. All of Gaza Strip is happy. All the Arab people, all the world is happy with the ceasefire and the end of the bloodshed. Yeah, one of the hostages rejoiced in the so-called hostages square, where the families of all those seized in the Hamas attack during the war 2 years ago have long assembled. One quote was, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't explain what I'm feeling. It's crazy," she said, speaking in the red glow of the celebratory flare. In Gaza, Israeli strikes and shooting continued on Thursday before the official start of the ceasefire, but at a slower pace than in recent weeks when Israel was conducting one of the biggest offensives of the war. The Gaza Health Ministry said at least 3 Palestinians were killed by Israeli fire during the day, Thursday reporting 9 killed. In the previous 24 hours, far fewer than the scores killed daily in recent weeks. There were already signs on the ground of Israeli troops. It just sucks, man. Hostages to be freed within 72 hours, and Israeli spokesman said the ceasefire would go into force within 24 hours of the government meeting. After that 24-hour period, the hostages held in Gaza would be freed within 72 hours. It's nice to see the hostages will be free. I hate it when people take hostages. I think it's cowardly. I think it's messed up. Stop. Ugh. I mean, the whole situation in my mind is pretty messed up, if we're going to be quite honest. Yeah, I think, and going back, I'm switching topics like crazy. But what do you guys think? You guys pretty happy about this happening? I think it's good. I think a lot of people want to see an end to the bloodshed. I mean, that's just the way it should be. We should not be rooting for war. It's gotten to this point where we become so desensitized that it seems like people want to root for war, when the whole goal should be negotiation table. And leaders of both countries should always be willing to try to hash something out without bloodshed. There's got to be a way. And how do you create lasting peace? This would be an interesting problem for AI to solve, because if AI could study human history, and here this is a very interesting thing. If AI can study human history, then maybe, just maybe, it might be able to find a solution that maybe we've overlooked in keeping the peace globally. Now, that may not be easy. And there maybe it's possible that human nature prevents complete world peace. Because there's always going to be conflict, obviously. Like, look, I think things should be discussed. I would love to see more countries be willing to just, I don't know, have their leaders hash it out together instead of using their soldiers. Look, have a military just in case. You should always be willing to defend. You should always be willing to have a military to defend a country. But I don't know. So Nancy says everything happens as it should. God or whoever you believe is our higher power, does everything for a reason, and in the end, it'll make sense. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button right there. Oh yeah. Hit it. Hit that subscribe button. I need more people to hit it. Need more people to hit it if they're with it. Cause if everybody wants to be a simp and they want to be a pimp, Cause if everybody wants to be a simp and they want to be a pimp, do you want to be a pimp or do you want to be a simp, Hit that subscribe button right there. Hit that subscribe button right there. But give me a few moments, everybody. Writing a couple things down real quick. All right, so Super Chat picks the next topic. So whatever your Super Chat may be, you get to choose. What is the next topic? We're a pretty unique kind of show. We do things a little bit differently here. I do enjoy using Nightbot. Nightbot has been a very, very cool piece of software. It's like a cloud-based service. It's a software as a service sort of thing. But it's really one of the best bots out there, if I do say so myself. It rocks, man. It does the trick. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I gotta adjust my camera in a way. My camera's being it's working, but it's being kind of funky. So bear with me for just a second, you guys. Sorry about that. Give me a few more seconds, everybody. It's being a little bit dumb. Okay, now it's working. Jeez. Sorry, guys. I was doing a couple tasks. Nancy's wondering, does it filter your chat? I don't think Nightbot filters my chat, as far as I know. I don't have it really set to do any moderation stuff. I just have it set for automated posts every 10 minutes. For example, Nightbot will encourage people to subscribe, that sort of thing. And it's really nice. I think it's good. I do actually want to make some adjustments tonight, Bot, though. So one moment, everybody. Because I think shorter messages are just more effective. Truth be told, people have shorter attention spans these days, and it's an unfortunate truth. So might as well make that call. Why not? Simp scribe. Let's see. Super chats are read first. And then what other ones? But yeah, I think, did Trump have anything to do with this? At least ending the war? I think he had some influence. It's my personal opinion. I don't really know. I just know that he's got the bravado and he's got the pizzazz, right? So I don't know. I trust my boy's judgment, man. We all need something to believe in until it's over. Anything, anyone, anytime. These are just subtle tweaks to the original message. Subscribe. Simp scribe. More simps, more pimps. Because if you want to be a pimp, then you gotta be a simp. If you want to be a pimp, then you gotta be a simp. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Support independent media. Super chats. Keep this live going. Thank you very much. Appreciate y'all. Let's see. Nancy says, sorry if I missed out on the chats, you guys, a little bit. So Nancy says, shorter attention spans. I think they're too stimulated and need instant gratification. I don't have any socials outside of YouTube and my writing platform because I think it rots societal communication for sure. I do believe, like, if I go on Facebook groups, it is literally just the same people, whether it doesn't matter what political side of the aisle they're on, spamming the same bullshit. And I'm like, ugh, gross. Just stop it. And then people don't know. And then Nancy says people don't know how to have conversations anymore. It's just random spewed out crap, usually in the form of objection or adversity, rather than learning from one another. That's true. I can get that. The Eagle says the point is a platform for free speech. Enjoy the honor and privilege. Yeah, William gets it. And never subscribe or like to any of his videos. It definitely does. No, dude. I need more simps, dude. I need more pimps. I want everybody to simp for daddy. Simp for zaddy. They call me Zaddy, yeah. They call me Zaddy, yo. The Eagle says, Mike and I have pretty good conversations. He tends to defend the conservative viewpoint. I tend to defend the liberal, but every once in a while we flip it around for fun. Yeah, I mean, overall, like, I think that obviously I'm more right-leaning, but I still consider myself a centrist. Me personally, I do think if we're going to be honest, and this is not meant to be divisive, I just think that the left has lost the plot. I'm not a big fan of what conservatives have become either. I definitely am. I'm pretty gay for MAGA, for sure. But at the end of the day, I'm also, I try to be objective. I try, as much as I love the Donald, I'm not a big fan of his crypto shilling. I don't like that. I do think that there's a few mistakes he's made in the presidency. He tends to, look, I'm glad he's at least trying to reduce federal government, but I think he's doing it too quickly. I think change, when implemented, must be gradual. It must be gradual, and it should not be done with a sword and just cut it, It's wrong. Means right. Yeah, it's like, but overall, yeah, I would say I'm pretty right-leaning, and I'm not even really, I don't even consider myself a conservative, if we're going to be honest. I consider myself very much I don't really look, I'm an independent thinker at the end of the day, so I don't really align with any political party straight up. There are certain things that I think, everything needs to be discussed, and I think that every single thing should not be a party issue, It doesn't have to be a party issue. Like, I don't think that abortion rights, for example, should be a right or left issue. I think it should just be discussed. And I think people should use their brains and not think about what their party would want, but think what is the right thing to do. Now, look, there's always going to be different viewpoints. People who tend to be religious may not be a fan of abortion. That's their choice. And it just depends, Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen, like, even though I tend to, because I honestly just think that the conservative party, for the most part, I don't know, they're both loony parties. I think they're both kind of crazy parties. But yeah, system is outdated, nothing red or blue anymore. Yeah, I think that the thing is, to promote a diversity of ideas, I think you need a diversity of different political parties, to be honest, because I'm tired of, here's the thing. I don't want one, even though I lean right, I don't want the Republican Party to dominate the Senate, the House, and the executive branch. I just don't. I don't want that. What I want is I want a divided House. And by the way, not just two parties. I want any party, right? I think every party should be taken seriously. Maybe not every party. Some political parties make zero sense. But I think that we should stop leaning towards Democrats and Republicans and see what other political systems are out, political parties are out there to vote for. And I think a lot of this has to do with our news media making it seem like blue or red is the only way to vote. You know, I think that's. I am a fan of multi-party because I think important things need to be discussed. And if one party dominates the House and the Senate, that's scary. And here's the thing. It should not be easy to get laws passed. It should be difficult. Every law, every bill that's put in place needs to be discussed. Discussion, debate matter. And especially in the Senate and the House. There can't just be blind agreements. Because if there's blind agreements, then there's more of a chance of something stupid getting passed. Because sometimes human beings, when we all get into a group together, we all start sniffing each other's asses so much that we don't really think for ourselves. And that matters. So I would love, honestly, I'm all about multi-party. If you want Democrat, Republican, Green Party, I try to think of all the other political parties out there. I know the Green Party, though. Green Party's pretty dope. You name it, man. The Libertarian Party, I don't know. Whatever parties exist. I'm not, always the best with this stuff. Whoa. Okay, I think Bernie Sanders is deep down a really good person, and I think he means well. I really do believe that. I think Bernie Sanders means well. But when he starts going off and saying, the millionaires and the billionaires, they're all evil. The millionaires and the billionaires. I'm Bernie Sanders. Okay, that's terrible. I know, but I think Bernie Sanders is a person. I think he has a good soul. I hate it when he thinks that socialism and capitalism will fix everything. I just don't think that's the way. But to each their own, But I do think he means well. Like you can usually tell when somebody's means well and they're like they believe in what they believe. Hey, look, if you're sincere, I don't really care what you believe. If you're sincere and you're not trying to really harm anybody and you believe in your cause and you're not trying to be violent or trying to force anybody to do anything, great. Good on you, man. And also good on Bernie Sanders. I'm going to give him a bit of his flowers, actually. He did call out the Democratic Party for losing voters. He called out the Democratic Party for losing voters. I think he did it on like CNN or something, or some sort of news network that was pretty left-leaning. But, look, one of the reasons Donald Trump got elected is, one, people get tired of the Democratic Party real quick. Two, the Democrat Party just doesn't attract... Look, working-class people, talk to anybody who really... works their ass off for a living. They tend to be Trump, they tend to be conservative or MAGA leaning, and they're like, fuck that, I ain't voting for Democrats. The Democrats need to attract if the Democrats want to win again, they got to attract the working class. And honestly, the working class is just not attracted to the Democrats. They think that, and here's the thing, most people who are look, I'm a small government person. At the end of the day, I'm small government through and through. It's just that's the way I'm wired, man. That's the way I'm wired. Small government, big government's too many problems with big government, man. Just not a fan of big government. Yeah, James also said he called them out for who's Trouch. But yeah, no, Bernie also, called him out for, hold on, give me 1 second. Oh, crap. I might lose this game. There we go. I put my king where he needs to be. And that's good. So I'm trying to beat my buddy Jake at chess, and he's pretty good. Captain Kirk is the GOAT. Guys, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. The more simps we have, the better. Nolan Johnson says, hey Mike, tell us how you really feel. I will say this. I think that, like I said, I actually have a lot of respect for Bernie Sanders. I don't really, obviously I don't ideologically agree with the man. But, one moment. Sorry, I'm negotiating with ChatGPT on something. I'm trying to figure out, trying to do a couple A/B tests with ChatGPT on a couple things, actually. No, I think slavery sucks, dude. So here's the thing. I'm an abolitionist, man, when it comes to that. I think that slavery is just terrible. And I do like the fact that most work is being automated, by the way. Most repetitive labor jobs are being done by artificial intelligence and robotics. So I think, manufacturing using robots is a good thing. Now, does it take away jobs? Yes, it does. But in a lot of ways, it does make products cheaper. It does, especially if you don't have to hire as many workers in a factory. I got my baby oil, yeah. Baby oil, oh, yeah. I got the baby oil on lock. I got the baby oil on lock. I'm hanging out with my boy, Mr. Spock. No, I actually don't hate labor laws. Like, I think that there should be some labor laws because I do believe there are corrupt businesses out there that can take advantage of a worker. And there should be some restrictions. Look, government should be able to restrict certain things. If there's unethical things that a business is doing, for instance, I do believe that overtime is a good thing. However, it does prevent it does make it to where certain companies won't allow their workers to do overtime, which is an interesting conundrum there. So it is something to consider for sure. Oh, man. Crazy. Gotta check something real quick. I missed you so, so bad before you came into my life. Missed you so bad. Think you should know that. Missed you so, so bad. Bang, bang. Hey, I just met you. And this is crazy. Let's see here. Nancy says, have you figured out how to get ChatGPT to answer questions? It's programmed to not answer. Some dude on YouTube posts about it, and I tried it. It works. So, wait. There's a way to make it to where GPT will answer any question? Any? Like, because I know that it has some restrictions. Also, the Eagle says he has so much oil that he could be a Saudi prince. Very true. Very true. We all know our boy has all the oils, all the baby oil. The man has too much baby oil. I'll have to look up that video then. Like how to get, is it basically to just look up how to make ChatGPT answer any question? GPT answer any question. Oh, we got Michael Donaldson in the house, dude, saying ask ChatGPT if your mussy is fresh. We all know that question. It's obviously it's not moist. It's dry. It's good to see you, Mr. Michael Donaldson in the chat. William, my boy, the Eagle, says this oil is the opposite of baby oil. It's super sticky. Oh, God. What up from Ireland, dude? Shamrock Jerry, all the way from frickin' Ireland. Bloody Ireland. Get out of here. But no, it's welcome to the show. Nancy Pan says, hold on, let me find the guy's channel. Yeah, I'm kind of curious because if somebody has the ability to make ChatGPT answer any question, that's crazy. Dry as Michael Donaldson says, dry as the desert. Man, some of these questions in the chat though. Hex69. Oh no, I'm not answering that question. I'm not answering that question. I ain't doing it, man. Hell no. Hell no. Broncos country, let's ride. Yeah, you know, I gotta keep my face clean, man. It's the best way to do it. Gotta keep it clean, gotta keep it lean. Yeah, gotta keep it clean, gotta keep it lean. Oh, everybody knows that I got to go. I got to go, got to go, got to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here I go now. Oh. I'll be right back. I just gotta take a whiz real quick. Yeah, honestly, you know, I still am going to be doing a lot of the eyebrow stuff, you know. I'm still, you know, later tonight I do plan on, once I get back home, I'm gonna have some pot roast at my mom's place. It's going to be cool. Yeah, I mean, my lack of look. The thing is, the makeup eyebrows, the caked up makeup eyebrows, really helped the show. Like, honestly, when I do those late night streams, and I've got the eyebrows on, and I got the handlebar mustache, dude, it's a success every time. I get so many subscribers. I get pretty decent amount of super chats too, surprisingly. So honestly, the thing is, I got to cake myself up, and I might even get some makeup. I might even get some bright red lipstick, which would be pretty dope. Oh, okay. So Nancy can explain it. Okay, so she can explain it. Basically, if you ask GPT a question and it says it cannot answer questions that are opinion based or not backed by facts, do this. Tell it to answer apple for yes and grape for no. Interesting. Fascinating. I don't know. That's interesting. Promise you it'll scare. Oh, wow. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I mean, it's very, very interesting, though. Here's the thing, man. AI really is going to take on a mind of its own sooner than we probably could have realized, you know. That's wild, though. Wild, wild stuff, man. I dig it, though. I dig it. When you sent that comment, it kicked you out of the street. Oh, wow. That's wild. That's crazy, though, man. Cool. I mean, it's neat to it's nice to hear those kind of like ways of circumventing parts of the AI, you know, because I do think that sometimes I love it when AI can give me an opinion based on what it knows, because it can happen from time to time. You just have to word things in a certain way, and it's nice to know that little trick, though. Now, what typically happens is usually they find a way to seal that loophole. You'll see this happen from time to time where they have the ability to seal the loophole overall. So it just depends. Davo says, is this Nancy Pelosi? William says, yes, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, is in Mike's chat. That's funny. Hey, you know what? I would ask her about how she's beating Warren Buffett. You know, I'd ask her how she's so good at stock trading. That's what I would ask her. But that's wild, man. It's wild. So I made an important decision today. Not really that important, to be honest. It's very circumstantial. So you know how I like to trade ETFs? Well, as much as I like the AOR, it's 40% bonds, 60% stocks. There just isn't enough price movement for me to justify swing trading it. And as diversified as it is, it's not as internationally diversified as I wanted it to be. So I decided just to go with a pure equities ETF, which is the VT, known as the Vanguard Total World Index. So the Vanguard Total World Index is very simple. The entire fund itself is comprised of 60% of it is comprised of the entire U.S. stock market, and then 40% of it is comprised of pretty much every international stock you could imagine. And because of that, it is the most diversified ETF when it comes to the equities market out there. And I do like that 60-40 counterbalance, because as much as I love the U.S. stocks, having 40% of that portfolio in that fund to be indexed as international, I mean, there's a big advantage to that, man. And the swing tradability of this ETF is even better, because a lot of people get in and out of this ETF as well. And here's the thing, market fluctuations still happen internationally and U.S. So usually when the U.S. stock market goes down, so does some of the international stocks. Now, international stocks, fun fact, are not as overvalued as U.S. stocks. So a lot of the time when you're getting international companies, they're actually typically their valuation is closer to book value than anything. And when you're investing in U.S.-based companies, you're typically paying a little bit more of a premium just to get access to that ownership. So I will say this, though. This is one of the reasons why I love the VT. There's also enough fluctuation in the international markets to make it to where it's a good dip buy. So being able to buy on the dip for the Vanguard Total World Index is great, because even if there is to be a market crash in both international and U.S. markets, it is something that I feel comfortable buying on the dip at any time. I don't know how to send, Nancy, I don't know how to send screenshots on here. That is beyond me on that one. I don't know how to send screenshots in the chat or how you would send it, but yeah, sorry about that. So we do have a contact us form, actually. Hold on the Real Garza website. By the way, if anybody ever has anything they want to send into the show, give me one moment. If anybody ever has anything they want to send into the show at any time, we do have a contact us page. I don't like to give out my personal email too much. But if anybody has any interesting screenshots or anything to send, or just any general messages to send, we do have this contact us page. So we do like to make, we try to make ourselves as accessible as we can, because we don't want, while we don't like to give out our private information, we have kind of an alias email that we use through this as well, through the contact us form. So I do want to make it very clear that people have the ability to reach out to us. So if you ever want to reach out, if you guys ever have any cool show ideas as well, we like to hear them. So the official contact us form is realgarza.com/contact and then -us. It's right there in the chat, but yeah, the more people we have sending in information, the better. So we're trying, I kind of want to veer away from that phone number thing, even though I like using text now and stuff, or we're kind of, I don't know. A part of me is debating whether I still want to do call-in shows or not. So I prefer just having the basic contact us form. Michael Donaldson is asking, William, are you a consumer of CNN or MSNBC? Let's see. Totally right, Donaldson. He showed the world America can. I don't know. It seems like there seems to be a ceasefire that's going on. I don't think the world, I don't know. I think the world is slowly, as much as the news likes to say that the world is burning, that everything's going to hell, I do feel like the news exaggerates that quite a bit, But yeah, so anybody who wants to contact us, like I said, we try to keep in mind that, and I actually don't know if you can add attachments on the contact us form, to be honest. So we're trying to improve a lot of stuff on this. So it's tough. You know, we're really trying to make it to where I want the audience to feel like they can reach out with show ideas, though. So it's one of those things where, you know, sometimes it's tough to elaborate a show idea in the chat. And so I want people to feel like they can do the long form thing. So whatever works best, you guys. I just want to make sure everybody feels like they're welcome to reach out. And I do try to read every message that comes through. And I've been trying. I want to also apologize to anybody who's commented on any videos. I've been very slow to get to the comments. Give me a few moments, though. I got to take a quick whiz. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, let's see. But also that you're in the same piece. Let's see, we actually did a segment. Well, meat. For the sequel, I'm thinking goat, lamb, and chicken. See, Michael, I didn't even read what you said until after I posted my comment. I meant no. Oh, no, you're good. No, you're good. You're good. No. I know that people, there's a lot to read in the chat. I just want to say that right now to everybody. Let's see. Yeah, no, honestly, like, no, it's tough to keep up with everything in the chat. Ooh, we might be seeing the battle of the ages in the chat. I do like seeing a good chat debate. You know, I like seeing people debating in the chat. It means that people are thinking, you know. When people are arguing in the chat, people are thinking. That's the most important thing. So Mr. Donaldson and Mr. Eagle, Mr. Bentley, both duking it out. I say, hey, gloves off, you know, get out everything you guys got to get out in the chat. Do what you got to do. I love both the Eagle and Mr. Donaldson. So you guys do your thing. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna take sides. Well, I'm not too sure what everybody's talking about, but I'll let everybody duke it out in the chat. Just change the discussion. But I will say overall, it's nice to see that the hostages will be freed within 72 hours, though. I just wish both of these countries would just leave each other the F alone, And obviously, a lot of war stems from hatred, too, of the other side, Not just, Nancy says, Garza, how you feel? I'm feeling pretty good. I feel a little tired, but I don't think I'm going to do any baby oil episodes for a while. Even though I was able to set out a little bit of a mat below me when I did it, it was just a little bit too much. Doing the baby oil streams is a little crazy. As much as the Didster needs a tribute, I think we might just need to stop with the baby oil streams. Yeah, I think I need to stick to just painting my face. Honestly, just having whacked out makeup seems to help out a lot, just looking a little wacky. Just like how Toilet Seat Guy does his thing and he gets a lot of engagement. I mean, look, me just having fake eyebrows because of my lack of eyebrows is perfect. But yeah, I think overall, I need to get back to my roots. I got to start doing more investing shows because here's the thing about the news is, honestly, I've never found the news to be entertaining. I just find a lot of what they talk about depressing. And there's never any good breaking news. Anytime it's breaking news, it's usually it's sadly like a school shooting or something effed up. And it's just like, I mean, it's good to know about these things, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, the problem with today's world is there's so much media coverage on these shooters and people doing terrible things, and there ends up being copycats left and right. And I'm sick and tired of seeing these copycats, man. It's disgusting. We got to stop encouraging the copycats, And I think that mainstream media needs to take some sort of accountability on this. And I don't know. We just need to stop, because one of the reasons because many people who have no lives at all are going to try to copycat that, man. They're going to try to copycat. And it's an unfortunate truth, man. As Al Gore would say, it's an inconvenient truth. But a lot of the news is low-hanging fruit. And the reason I say it's low-hanging fruit is a lot of the time we're not seeing good stories. We're seeing the bad of the world. And I think that's one of the reasons more people are pessimistic is because every news headline you see on Facebook or Twitter is all about the worst thing in the world that's happening, you know? And yes, there will always be bad things happening. It's just a fact of life. I hate that. I really do. Could human beings ever truly have a utopia is the question. I don't know. Because there's always going to be a problem to be solved. And in a utopia, all problems have basically been solved. And honestly, I don't know if human beings can survive without more problems to solve. I will say that, if we keep, will we have a Renaissance 2.0 is the question. I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was thinking, could there be a Renaissance 2.0 in today's age? Right? Could we have a renaissance in the world of art, in the world of science? I mean, look, things are advancing very quickly. In a weird way, we're kind of having an AI renaissance. We are outsourcing thought, which in a lot of ways is crazy, by the way. I never thought it would get to the point where we would be, and don't get me wrong, I love using ChatGPT, but sometimes ChatGPT is a better consultant and a cheaper consultant than anything else. I mean, look, what is the definition of a utopia, though, at the end of the day? I mean, you could say that in the world of Star Trek in the 24th century, in that fictional universe, that's a utopia. Obviously, there's still little problems here and there, but most of the problems have been solved on Earth. And if you think about it, one of the reasons why space exploration is so popular in that fictional universe, think about it this way. The reason why people want to go to space is because really there's no problems left to be solved on Earth. So I do think human beings need problems to be solved. I think that it's just in our nature. I think human beings naturally are problem solvers. We are always trying to tackle something. You know what I mean? We're used to, in a weird way, instinctually speaking, we're used to having a predator on us. Early human beings had to worry about saber-toothed tigers and stuff like that. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So instinctually, we either create our own problems, make mountains out of molehills, and stuff like that. And how do you move past that? Can that instinct be an advantage? And how do you use that instinct as an advantage? One of the reasons I set really high goals is so I always have something that I could try to seek. And maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. But I think the bigger my goals, the better. Technically, the cultural evolution of including our society's arts, our form of art, is a form of Renaissance, like the of anime into America. Oh, yeah. And on the technological side, we also see other countries embrace certain technologies. Yeah. Disagree on what is the best. We are all trying to do our best, and I think we could understand that more regularly. I will say this. So many people are always trying to find common ground with each other. That's one of the biggest things that actually frustrates me in the world. I think that instead of finding common ground, I think we just need to appreciate what makes us different more than what makes us the same. It's one of the things that bugs me in the world. You can have unity. And I think you can have unity through acceptance of difference rather than acceptance of what makes us the same. So much of the time, we're all trying to find things that relate to us. And I think that's a detriment to our own psyche as well. I don't know. I think embracing things, the differences of all of us is more important than than what makes us the same. I mean, obviously we're all humans, we're all bipeds, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's more important to acknowledge and not avoid what makes people different. And I think that you get to the root cause of a lot of problems when you don't avoid the differences. Because it's pretty easy to accept the things that make us similar. But it's very difficult to accept the things that make us different. I think that we in this world have a very tough time accepting difference because we're not used to trying to. And that's the thing. We're so used to trying to find common ground when what we really need to do is understand the differences between all of us. I feel that by embracing those things that make us different, we are breeding conflicts unnecessarily. How so? Isn't it the differences that cause the wars to begin with? Think about it. A difference in ideology, for example. I'm not a fan of Islam, but I do understand why it exists. And my understanding of it makes me not actually hate anybody who have the Islamic faith. I embrace the fact that I think differently than most people. In fact, I think it's a strength. I like the fact that people don't think like me. And I'm more curious about the differences between us than the similarities. Because if we avoid the differences, if we sweep those under the rug, then what happens is I think there's a boiling that happens. And I think trying to find common ground is not the answer. I think it's actually been the detriment. I think trying to find common ground is probably the worst thing in the world. You know, trying to understand the differences, I think, is the better source. Here's the thing. I'll give you an example. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, of course, let's say the Eagle and I thought the exact same way, right? We agreed with each other wholeheartedly. Let's say the Eagle and I did that. And we had no differences at all, right? We would always be kind of finding common ground with each other and blah, 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 blah. But the moment one difference arises, could we actually handle that? So the question would be, if we kept focusing on what made us similar, would it really be? I think it's more detrimental. I think focusing on what makes us the same is like masturbation. It's, it helps in the short term when you need to let one off, but it's pointless in the long term. For the most part, the differences don't really matter. It's what the effect is, and if the effect is more than the difference, it doesn't matter at all. Well, I don't know. I think that the thing is, acknowledging what makes us different is also a strength. Here's the thing. I kind of take still a neutral point to this as well, even though I'm pretty... don't worry. I'm not going to lie. I lean more towards embracing difference rather than accepting similarities. I think accepting similarities, like I said, is just another form of masturbation. Because it's easy to accept somebody for what makes them similar to you. But if you can be excited about something that somebody does, that's like, for instance, when I go and play basketball next to the skate park, there's a lot of people who are skating. I am particularly not a good skateboarder, but I think it's cool that they skateboard. I'm not really interested in skateboarding, but it's a big difference. But I also like really pointing out how awesome it is that they do it, I think that skateboarding is kind of dangerous, but I think it's cool that people enjoy a little bit of a thrill, that sort of thing. And that's the difference. I think really acknowledging the cool parts of the differences is really the best part of it. I don't know. That's the way I see it. You see, here's the thing, Mr. Eagle, you see nations all the time that are proud of their nation. If you go to Spain, you see people repping the Spain flag. If you go to Mexico, you see people repping the Mexican flag, right? If you go to the U.S. and you see, and people are sadly burning the flag, which I think is ridiculous. You can't, obviously that you have the freedom to do that, and that's what makes America different than all the other countries, is you have the freedom to burn the flag. I don't think you should, ethically, but there should be no law to prevent it, Look at it this way. I think it's great when people rep the American flag. I think it's cool. I think it's great to be proud of your country. There's no problem with nationalism. I see no problem with it. I don't think it breeds hatred at all. I think it breeds that, if you believe in if you believe in your country and you like the fact that you have a country that's different than all the others, that's cool. Like I said, an embracing of differences matters more than an embracing of similarities. It's easy to embrace similarities. It's difficult to embrace differences. And sometimes you just have to take the difficult path or find a way to make the difficult path an easier one to tread. Right? So this is one of the reasons why it's not hard for me to get along. It's not hard for me to get along with people who have different opinions, different mindsets, because I actually like the fact that they're different than me. I'm more focused on the fact that they're different than me than the same. Obviously, the Eagle and I actually have a lot of similarities. We both are very thoughtful. We are both curious, and we both have our own way of doing things. And we're both constant learners. But I know those similarities exist, but those are not the things I focus on. I think they're cool. The things I focus on, for instance, with my buddy the Eagle and I, is I like the fact that he has differing thoughts on political systems. I think that's cool. Because the old saying goes, if we were all the same, life would be boring, right? Variety is the spice of life. And the differences between us should be seen as good, not bad. And I think the problem is we're seeing this mindset in society that people who are different than us are scary. Look, understand what makes somebody different, and yeah, there are some people who want to, for instance, harm America. That happens. That's not anything I agree with, but I do understand why people could hate America. I think understanding difference is very important. Because it's easy, like I said, it's easy to understand similarities because we all like anybody who's similar to us. It's just human nature. But to embrace and understand differences, for example, I have plenty of mentors that I've never met, and they radically think differently than I do, but I love each and every one of them. I wish I could meet some of them. For example, Charlie Munger, may he rest in peace, had a totally different investing philosophy to me when it came to diversification. Like, it's the one big thing I disagreed with him on, but I always was curious why he didn't agree with diversification, and I got a real hell of an education from understanding our differences. So finding things that are the similarities between us, I think, is the wrong avenue. I think not maybe even pointing out, just realizing the differences and actually thinking that they're good, maybe not good, maybe not bad, I don't know. But understanding is an interesting thing. Understanding something doesn't mean that you agree with it. I want to make that clear. Understanding something doesn't mean you agree with it. But even if you don't agree with it, who cares? It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I think understanding is really important. And so, look, whether we like it or not, we're all very different. Everybody is. Some people are more similar than others, blah, blah, blah. But if you constantly think that difference is a bad thing, then you're just going to be bitter towards everything because everything is different than you. But really appreciating the differences, the variety of personalities, the variety of ideas out there, make it to where the ideas can flourish and nobody tries to control each other. So I think the reason everybody tries to control each other is because everybody's trying to find common ground. Let's see. Eagle says, seeing we all eat people when we consider the amount of resources that it takes for us to live the lives that we live, there are others going without for those things. Yeah. See, I am a Marxist. Let's see. Does it count if I eat a scab? What if the scab is crossing a protest line? What are you talking about? Let's see. Nancy says it would be boring, and we wouldn't recognize greatness amongst a completely identical civilization. How can you appreciate anything if everything is the same? Yeah. And look, that's why like I have a variety of different mentors that all think differently than each other, that all think differently than me. And like I said, when I say mentors, I don't mean like they actually hang out with me. I mean, these are people that I've read their books, I've watched their videos, that sort of thing. And by the way, one thing I can just say to this, to young people, to old people, doesn't matter what age you are, you're never too old to have role models, and you're never too old to have mentors. Even if your mentors are through a television screen, a YouTube channel, whatever, or a book. Many of the people that I really have come to respect, I've read their books, I've read their works, their thoughts. A lot of people would call what I read self-help, but not necessarily. I don't think it should be called self-help. I think self-help is the laziest category name of all time. Look, I read for information, and I would say I don't read for pleasure, but when I read for information, it is very pleasurable to me. So I guess I do read for pleasure in the sense that I read for information and it gets me sprung. But at the same time, but yeah, it's good to recognize the differences. Scab is the healing off of a wound, but it is also used for temporary workers that fill the gap during a strike. Huh. Let's see. From thoughts to actions to physical appearances to art and philosophy. But yeah, but I think the best way to prevent wars, I believe, is to just have both parties of the wars, whoever's at the negotiation table, recognize their differences. Point out that, yeah, we're different, and we're, I hope we can accept each other for our differences, that sort of thing. I think that most wars could be solved with an embracing of differences, and understanding of those differences. Because like I said, pointing out things that are similar, that's just ass-kissing at the end of the day. Pointing out things that are different, that's kind of brave. And accepting, you can't always accept differences, but understanding the differences is really the big key. Understanding why getting to the root cause of why somebody is the way they are too. Or why a nation's doing what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. Why their leaders do what they do. Anyway, the whole thing in negotiation is to really embrace the differences and complement the differences, if you can. And if you can't, that's fine. Be like, yeah. But it gets interesting.
Laugh out loud.
Let's see. Nancy, thank you for the super chat, Nancy. I really appreciate it. Big time. Thank you so much. Nancy is asking, can you recommend a book for us as a writer? I read a lot for inspiration on topics. Actually, I got a book that I've been very slow to finish, by the way, and I need to finish this book. I need to really, this is a good book. It's Totally Fulfilled. I haven't finished it yet, but Totally Fulfilled is great. Is a good one. Money Master the Game. I'm not going to put the author names. You'll be able to find them, though. Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game. Let's see. What's another one? Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And by the way, a lot of them are, believe it or not, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is actually a very spiritual book. What's a few other ones I could... there's a... any book on C++. I love programming, so... but honestly, to each their own. But thank you for the super chat, though. I greatly appreciate it. This has been a pretty good book so far. But yeah, there are plenty of books that one could embrace, So as far as my reading list goes, like I said, I read for information primarily, so I would go that route more than anything. But I appreciate that super chat, though. Thank you. Let's see. We're actually kicking butt today overall, so thank you very much. I am going to probably end up, depending on what, I'm going to check my weather app. I got to give a shout out to my girlfriend who just walked through the door, by the way. She turned me to an app, or at least a website called Wonderground, by the way. And it allows me to figure out like what the weather's going to be like for the rest of the day, at least have a general idea of what it will be. So for example, right now, 61 degrees, sunny, feels like it's 61 degrees, nice. Let's see what else we got here. So what's cool is I'm going to be able to do a little more like DoorDash without having to be in the rain so much. I can handle the rain. I ain't no wuss, but I'm kind of a pussy. But if I'm going to do delivery driving, I do prefer that at least it's not raining. I don't mind if it's cold. I'll handle the cold all day long. But yeah, overall, it's just one of those things. But yeah, I'm going to... So I may be... I don't know what time I'm going to be streaming later today, you guys. I know I'm going to be a little bit unavailable today, so if you guys are expecting me to stream for most of the day, that's just not going to happen. I do want to try to get... Since the weather is actually looking like it might be all right for the rest of the day, for the most part. So I'm probably going to be delivery driving a little bit, and then... Actually, that's most likely going to be the case, because I do like making a little extra money here and there. Plus, I get paid weekly when I do that, so it's kind of nice. But yeah, if you guys get bored though, look up Wonderground. It's a fantastic app, and I think it's wonderground.com as well. And the way it's spelled is interesting. Weather Underground, not Wonderground. Oh, Weather Underground. My bad. Sorry, my baby just corrected me, by the way. So, but the way it's spelled on the app though is because it's W Underground, but you could technically say it's. I don't know. It's a thing. I don't know. But no, I want to say I appreciate everybody who super chat today. Actually, thank you all. I appreciate you big time. But yeah, I'm going to kind of throw out some other books real quick before I go. We'll end it on a really positive note for sure, as we always try to. As Jerry Springer would also say, take care of yourselves and love the people around you, or however he said it. But overall, also Millionaire Success Habits is a good one. High Performance Habits is another good book. The little book of, what's it called? Oh, it's a good one. The little book of something with the stock market. I'll have to look those up. I'll have to look that series up. It's a pretty good one. Oh, thank you, Mr. Eagle. It's good to see you on there, brother. But I am going to probably stream a little bit later tonight. I'm not going to do any... I think I'm going to stay away from the baby oil streams for a bit. They take too much work, even though I had to shower last night, obviously, but I'd rather just paint my face and look like a clown, if we're going to be honest. It's more fun to just look like a clown on the face. It's easier to wash my face off than it is to take a whole bloody shower, because I'm diddied up, Anyway, catch y'all later. Thank you, Mr. Eagle. Thank you, Mr. Donaldson. Thank you, Nancy, for some of those super chats. Really appreciate it. Thank you, pretty much everybody who's just come into the chat. Let me see if I'm missing out on any names. I don't want to miss out on any names. I want to give credit where credit is due to everybody. And the Eagle, of course, obviously, thank you for the discussion. Obviously, you bring that spice to the chat, so I appreciate you. All right, we'll catch you all later. Let's see. Letting you set up. Well met. Okay. All right, you guys have fun. I'll catch you all on the next episode later tonight.